G'day boys and girls. Bright and early, 7:30 on a Saturday morning down here in Happy Valley Reservoir. A lot of people were here but from 7 o'clock. And I used to think it was open at 7 o'clock too during daylight saving, but just spoke to the ranger and he said no, it's always been 7:30. So anyway, 7:30 AM to 8 PM during daylight saving. Anyway, just out on a bit of a test ride today. I've got a trip to Victoria coming up this week and I just want to make sure the bike's in tip-top condition. I've replaced the drivetrain just recently and I've also replaced the gear cable because it was changing really stiffly. So I replaced the cable. The old cable was kind of not in too bad condition. What I think it might have been more a case of was the clutch spring on the derailleur being very tight. So I backed that off as well. And now she changes nice and smoothly. It was just, felt like you're gonna, oh shit, look at this tree down. Bloody hell. Righto, what if they know about that? I'll have to let them know. But yeah, there's a clutch spring that makes the bloody changing a lot easier if you back it off without being too loose. Obviously you want to keep some chain tension on there, but yeah, I've backed that off and it makes it so much easier. You know, before you almost thought that you were going to snap your cable because it was that hard trying to push the thumb down, you know, to change into your lower gears. But yeah, no, she's all good now. I've given the dropper post a minor service, you know. I've sprayed in a little bit of inox and pushed it up and down hundreds of times. Well, maybe not hundreds, but cleaned it up as it comes up, brings up all the black greasy shit, and it seems to be pretty good. And I had this little bottle of Audi chain oil that comes, hey Skip, oh, mummy Joey's growing up, eh? Not little Joey anymore. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I you know, you get those little chain cleaning kits from Audi, you know, with the cogs in them and all that. You wrap them around your chain. And anyway, I've never used the chain oil because it's a bit sort of, I don't know, I always just use the other stuff that you buy from bloody 99 bikes, you know, the white waxy stuff or the muck off one. Anyway, so I use that. Bit of a breeze. It's pretty chilly too down here. Got me a big bloody raincoat on. Yeah, so I use that oil and yeah, she's making a big difference in the operation of the dropper. Really sped up the rebound, you know, like the release, bringing it back up. Test ride, yeah, so today test ride. So like I said, I was getting the bike all, you know, geared up for Victoria. Went for a ride yesterday with Steve down at Halloran Hill. And for the first time ever, I had an error 500 code come up on my KIOX display. And I started panicking. I'm like, oh, come on, mate. I'm going to Victoria this week. So the last thing I need is a bloody issue with my motor. I looked it up on Google. You know, there was things like, the first thing I seen was corrosion. There was various other threads on eMTB forum and whatnot. And it's like, oh geez, how long is a piece of string? So I rang up Will Ride. They said that they'd have to stick it onto the Bosch diagnostic system. Once they hook it up, then they can see what's wrong with it. If I did need a new motor, it'd be like a 10-day turnaround. They're not allowed to keep motors anymore or something or other, I don't know. I mean, they've basically become a specialised dealer now anyway, so I don't think they want too much to do with Focus. They don't really have any Focus bikes there for sale anymore. It's all specialised. I'm pretty sure Bicycle Express now is probably the Focus dealer in Adelaide. That's a pain in the arse going into bloody, what is it, Franklin Street or whatever it is, Halifax Street in the city. Anyway, yeah, I just said, look, well, I might bring the bike in anyway. So here we go. I might take it home, take the covers off, take the cover off the left hand side of the motor and just you know, check the connections, blow it out. And it's a good thing I did. So when I got home, I took off the left hand cover. You got to take the left hand crank off, and then yeah, you unscrew 3 little screws with those little Torx. I think it's like a 2mm or something like that, 1.5, 2mm. And yeah, you get the cover off, and mate, there was shit tons of dust in there. Now, I haven't had this bike serviced since probably about 3,000 Ks, so like probably 5,000 Ks overdue. I mean, everything else I do on this bike myself, you know, moving parts and whatnot, I sort of just, you know, look after them myself. But as far as electrical components go in the motor, I've sort of never really touched it, you know. I sort of think, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Anyway, I bought an air compressor the other week, just to, you know, pump up tyres when I try and seat them on the bead. Anyway, I hooked that up, started blowing out all the dust, and took the connectors off, looked at them, they're all pretty clean, but I sprayed some electrical, you know, cleaner in there, and I sprayed it all out, put it all back together. I took off the battery connector, which is just above the motor, down near the bottom bracket, and basically, you know, just to see if there was anything going on with that connector. All the wires there were all connected, but I did notice, now what I'm going to do is put up some pictures on the screen here just to show you what I'm talking about. There's this little alloy bracket that holds the battery terminal in place. It's where the bottom of the battery hooks in and the power connects. Well, there was a red wire, so I'm guessing like the main bloody power wire, hooks into that and goes over the top of this alloy bracket, which has got a sharp edge on it. Not razor sharp, but you know, an unfinished kind of sharp edge. And the bloody core, well, not the core, but the outer of the wire was starting to wear through, and like it wouldn't have been too far off reaching the core, I reckon, as you can see in the photo. So yeah, I filed off the sharp edge of the bracket and wrapped some electrical tape around the wires. So hopefully now that'll keep it in, you know, safe working order, because that was probably something else that would have happened down the track, and that would have probably short out on there, could have caused major catastrophe, which would have been shit, especially if I was out in Victoria. So yeah, got that sorted. Alright, we're just going to take this little left-hander here. I do like going around through these little parts. Just try not to get a bloody twig caught in the derailleur. I do have a spare derailleur now. It's the old one, which is still in good working order. So I've got the new one on at the moment. Look out, duckies! Yeah, use your wings, mate, that's what they're for. I don't know why they don't use them on the roads. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, I caught that bloody, you know, cut wire thing bloody just in time, I reckon. Bit of an oversight from Focus there, I think, with their production. They had this cloth tape, which was fairly heavy duty, around the wires, but I don't think it went far enough. If they had that on there, it might have been okay, but yeah, literally the red core of the red outer of the wire was rubbing through, and it was probably almost down to the bloody core. Hey, Skip, have a look at you, buddy. Jesus. Don't want to mess with him. The charge port. So I looked at the charge port, I thought, all right, let's just check all the electrical connections, see what's going on. So I unscrewed that, and I noticed the top left-hand corner of it was cracked. So I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, everything's just, you know, falling apart on this bike. It's just plastic, you know, I mean, it's, yeah, there's nothing much. I reckon when I first bought it, it had a crack in it as well. Whether it's to do with the actual screws being done up too tight, or manhandling the bloody charge connector. You know, I think you've got to sort of put your finger on the bottom of the bloody the port as you pull the cable out, otherwise it can, you know, pull on that and yeah, put stress on the plastic bits. Anyway, so I super glued all that back together, put that in, cleaned all that up, it was all good. And I thought, right, what about where the cable goes through into the frame? So I pulled out the little ferrule on the side here, make sure there was no cut in the cable. No, that's all good, nice and smooth. So right, well, nothing much else to do. I had the battery on charge, so I'll put that back in, and it was full battery. And then it was coming up with, instead of this 500 error code, it would come up and say KIOX battery low, connect to a power source or the bike, or eMTB or something. And I thought to myself, I did see that error also come up while I was out on the ride. And me being in a bit of a panic and just wanting to get back to the car, I sort of took it as it saying my battery was running low, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe it just is getting confused, you know, thinking my battery's low, even though the display was saying like 89% or something. So yeah, KIOX battery display running low, so I thought, right, I'll hook up my USB port, you know, USB charger, USB connector to the display, and it started charging. Then I thought, right, well, if that's the case, then obviously it's not getting power from the bike. So where the bloody thing snaps on here, you know, it's got that magnetic catch onto the display housing or the mounting. I thought, well, let's just take that off and have a look. Now, with my display, I've always had the little grub screw that I found. I found one that fits, didn't come with it, but I found one that fits, and I've always put that inside to keep this thing, you know, mounted on permanently, because the whole magnetic thing, it's kind of, I just don't like the fact that you can knock the thing off and, you know, lose it down an embankment or something. Who knows, lose it into a bloody creek, or you just don't know. And then also forget about it, leave it on the bloody back of the car, have it fly off as you're driving along, or, you know, a bird hits it or something. So I'm like, nah, I'm going to keep it screwed on. And I have done for like 8,300 Ks. I've never taken it off. And so what I did is I unscrewed it, I took it off, and here's the photos. You can see there, corrosion between the contact points, those little gold plated contact points that they've got on there. That's what was causing the issue all along, because since I've cleaned that and put it all back together, and I'm out here riding now, I've had no errors. So there's a tip for you guys. If you're getting an error 500 code, and even before it says something about the KIOX display, just remove your display and have a look at those contact points. You know, I'm guessing a lot of you guys probably just use the magnetic catch system and you don't bother about screwing it in. So it's easy just to pull it off and bloody have a look and see. Because, yeah, it was doing my head in. I was panicking, thinking, shit, I'm not going to be able to get a new motor in time to go to Victoria. I'm going to go have to buy a bloody new mountain bike. I was just going to go and buy a hardtail analog bike or something just to get me through. Because my old Merida 120, well, that needs a whole lot of work as well. Needs a whole new back wheel and drivetrain, because the bloody shit that it came with, they don't make anymore. Bloody cup and cane bearing shit, you know, cheap shit. It was entry level, but it looks like crisis avoided, which is good. So yeah, after I got home yesterday from my little panic, I also noticed as well, this is like while I had the bike on the stand, doing all my bloody cleaning, diagnosis and whatnot, my front tyre was flat. The AR offset 30 rims are a pain in the fucking ass if you want to run tubeless. They've got these massive bloody spoke holes, you know, eyelets inside the rim where you put the rim tape, and on the side that is the most offset, it's so close to where the B channel is that it's absolutely stupid. Whenever you put the tape on, it'll always leak. It's literally like less than a millimetre, or at least 1 mil between the bloody B channel of the rim and the eyelet of the hole. And the eyelets aren't even finished off nicely. They haven't even been knurled. You know, they haven't even taken the sharp edge off. It's absolute shit. So last week, trying to put this front tyre on, I got this new Pirelli Trail M put on the front. It's not what I'm running now. I'm running my DT Swiss wheel at the moment. But yes, the rim tape failed again. You know, I did 2 layers of it. Well, the first thing was, I tried to get the tyre on. It's got cush gore, absolute pain in the arse. My hands are half fucked as they are, so a bit of a hard go for me. Ended up bloody getting the tyre on, you know, filled with sealant, tried to pump it up, nah, couldn't get it pumped, couldn't get it up. Tried my bloody, you know, car 4-wheel drive pump thing, nah, too fucking slow. Can't go to the servos because those pumps are fucking useless nowadays. So I thought, fuck it, had enough. I need a fucking compressor, or I need something that can, you know, push a whole lot of air in. And I've seen on YouTube people making their homemade things out of bloody pressure pumps and all this kind of stuff, you know, like for gardening. So I thought I'd give that a go. No, that wasn't enough. So in the end, went down to Total Tools and I bought a bloody compressor. Best thing since sliced bread, mate. I've used it for all sorts of shit now. But anyway, but it just kept on leaking. It kept on leaking through. Now these rims, they've got these stupid fucking little holes in the bastards. Because they're like a double wall rim kind of thing, like they're a bit of a weird design. They're not a conventional sort of rim. They've got this channel, and inside this channel, I guess they need it to bloody breathe or some shit, so they put these two fucking holes either side of the bloody rim. And if the tape doesn't seal, the fucking sealant runs out these holes and air leaks out these holes, and like, because the tyre was going down on me all the fucking time. So I had a gutful, and I know I'm rambling on a bit, but yeah, tell you what, it was a fucking pain in the arse. So what I ended up doing was replacing the tape after about 3 times, you know, trying to get this thing to seal. I replaced the tape with bloody Gorilla tape, extra wide, 2 layers, cut it real close to the bloody, like basically right on the bead, so the tyre would sit right on it. And it was alright for about a week in one ride, and then after yesterday's ride, which was only probably 9 Ks, fucking went flat on me. And it was leaking out that hole again. So right, onto the phone. So I rang up Mitcham Cycles. I've always had a good outcome with Mitcham Cycles. Mitcham Cycle Centre, whatever you want to call it, down there on Blair Road. And they're ordering me in a Hope Fortis 30mm, so it's going to be the same as my rear. So I'm going to have a matching set of wheels on here, so that'll be good. So I've got the DT Swiss with the cross country tyres for one set, and then I'll have like the more enduro trail tyre on the Hope set, and that should be in early next week. And I'm going to get them to put the push core in and you know, set it up for tubeless, because I'd rather pay someone to do it, mate. It's a pain in the fucking ass. And hopefully we'll all be good for Victoria. I want to go and do red carpet in Forest. There's a big climb getting up to the top of that. Oh, they've got this gate open for a change. Righto. Anyway, normally it's only the side gate. But yes, I don't fancy riding up that climb on the analogue bike. So yeah, I think everything's going good. Haven't had any error codes, haven't had any issues. Gears are changing well. Seat post is working well. Just got to get that tyre sorted now with the new front rim. Might even, no, I think I'll just use this rotor. This rotor's still alright. And yeah, we should all be set. So going to go to Forest. Going to do all the trails around there. Probably do, I don't know, 25 or 50 Ks, see how I feel. Mrs. has got a hot stone massage booked in for that morning, and she's taken her e-bike as well, so she can ride down to the Masur and explore the town. And after that we'll stay the night, and then next morning drive down to Anglesea via 12 Apostles along the Great Ocean Road. So we've got all day to get to Anglesea, so that's all good. We can explore a little bit, get to Anglesea, sleep that night, wake up the next morning. I'll go out for a mountain bike ride around all the trails there, and Tara can explore the town on our bike, and then after that we'll stay again that night, and then the next day drive home. Now I had to go out and buy a specific e-bike rack for it, a dual e-bike rack, and ended up buying the Buzzy rack because it's foldable and pretty heavy duty, and it's got the hitch mount, the square 2-inch hitch mount, which is nice and stable. None of this, you know, off the toe bullshit swiveling around everywhere. The only thing is, the hitch mounted version does not come with tail lights and number plate holder. Absolutely ridiculous. I emailed them, I said, you know, does it come with it? No, it only comes with it on the toe ball mount. I said, what the fuck? What's the difference? It's just a mounting. So fucking pissed off. The bloke from 99 Bikes, he didn't really know what was going on, so he ordered in the bloody number plate holder. He said, yeah, it just clips on, blah blah blah. With the lights, it's got like lights built into it, but it doesn't fit that model. The same brand, Buzzy rack, whatever it's called, but doesn't bloody doesn't fit. So I ended up getting the Yakima light board, which is pretty flimsy. But I'm just going to tell this bloke about the tree down too. There you go, mate. Hey, you know you got the big gate down there still open?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know about that tree that's down? Yeah, so, you know when you... Alright, well, I just had a bit of a chat there with Doug. He's a mountain biker as well from way back. Anyway, the other thing I did to my bike as well was I replaced my top bearing in the headset, because that was just a cup and cone cheap shit, and it was gritty and loose as shit. So I've got the new one in there. Got that from Will Ride. A slightly different design. It's a seal bearing unit, which is good. I've also got a spare one for the bottom when I need it, but at the moment the bottom's pretty good. There we go.
I'll hold the gate.
Yeah, alright. Too easy.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Yeah, so I've taken the bike over some bumpy stuff now down to the Hellies, and it hasn't popped back out again. It's all been pretty solid. So fingers crossed, mate. Well, it'll be good for Victoria. I'm going to go home and put this bike under cotton wool, give it a clean up. Got to take my old wheel down to Mission Cycles, drop that off. Yeah, I'll just have to put that wheel on. And I'll probably take my spare set of wheels with me as well, because I'll take a whole bunch of spares with me when I go to Victoria. Chain, cassette, derailleur, you name it. Probably an overkill, but I just like to be safer than sorry, because you know you don't want to go all that way, break something on your bike and go, oh fuck, can't ride. I mean, I could probably hire a bike from somewhere, but it's not the same, you know. So yeah, take all the spares, take the cleaning gear, take the bike stand, and take this camera and hopefully get some video of some awesome trails. Alright, well, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about today. And hopefully you can hear it all, because I know with this wind it kind of sounds loud in my ears, but I'm pretty sure the camera picks up my voice pretty well because I'm pretty close to it. But yeah, no, the bike's going good now, so fingers crossed it stays that way. I'm going to have to check that bloody connections here more regularly. I'll put a bit of electrical tape around here trying to seal that up a little bit as well. I've got the screw back in it. And yeah, we'll just try not to break the bike. I'm looking forward to more flowy, less rocky trails over there in Forest. I think Anglesea might be a little rocky, but Forest has a nice lot of flow from what I've seen on the videos. Nice bush trail system. One of the first trail towns, I think, that was built in Victoria. Yeah, this front tyre hasn't got quite the side knobs as my other tyre, so got to take it a little easier on these off-camber gravel turns. Well, that'll do for now, boys and girls. I'll catch you in Forest, Victoria, with any luck. All going to plan. Thanks for watching.